What is up, you It's your boy Dr. Binary back at you with another live video. Hey, listen, welcome back to the Behind the Mask series. We are in episode 3, 80's baby, lying about my age. We are going to get into this episode and we're going to talk about the psychology, especially for a grown man to lie about his age. The reason why some people are compelled to lie about their age, it's not because they're ashamed of how old they are. It's because they are so used to personas. They are so used to living behind the mask, and we are going to break that down. Today's episode is 80's baby. Don't you know that your 20s are over? Your 20s are over. If you were born in the 80's, the youngest you could possibly be is 36 and a half, 37 years old. Your 20s are over. What happens when you try your hardest to deny how old you truly are? It's because you refuse to grow up, mature, and have legit adult responsibilities. And before we jump into this series and we break down the psychology of living behind the mask and not accepting who you are and when you were born, look, there's a huge identity crisis. When somebody lies about their age and they put decades on the lie, and then when you see the person in real life, they can't even pull that off. That tells you that they may have a few psychological issues that have not been addressed. And so we know that arrested development is part of that. We broke that down in episode 1. That's on the backup page. So if y'all want to see episode 1, please go over there and run the numbers up so that I can get that backup page monetized and we can handle our business. All right. And we also know that with arrested development, it comes the immaturity of thinking that saying I'm sorry, but not truly meaning it, not backing it up with actions, is enough. And we discovered that, and we broke that down at nauseum on episode 2, which you can just find on this channel if you want to go ahead and watch episode 2 of I'm Sorry is Not Enough. And so now we are in episode 3, where we're having cognitive dissonance as far as saying you're one age when you're really another. I know that dating apps like a Grinder, even though I don't have primary information on that because I am not gay, I'm not on Grinder, but I know that Grinder is notorious for people, especially men, lying about their age in order to attract others. But in this particular case, I find it interesting that the man behind the mask will lie about his age in order to attract older women. I find that really baffling, mind blown. But we're going to dive deep into that because it could be a form of that nurturing, how somebody needs that motherly touch. So before we jump into all of that, what I want to do is I want to share my screen. You guys, I want to take us down memory lane. Please hit that like button, please, because this is that evergreen content that is going to stay public, that anybody could click on at any time during any course of their life. And it just clicks and resonates. Okay, so hit that like button. Let's run the numbers up. But let me go ahead and share my screen and let's go down memory lane. Shall we? Look at this. Let's go back in history with the 1980's timeline. And y'all can go ahead and look this up. Thought Company does a lot of good stuff. The Rubik's Cube was released, Royal Wedding, first artificial heart First MLK Jr. Day is on there. The Olympics in Los Angeles, that was good for 84. Titanic wreckage discovered in 85. The Challenger disaster, I remember learning a little bit about that when I was like, what, 7, 8 years old. Wall Street, okay. Oh man, that crash was bad. And the epidemic of AIDS. And we know that Goosey and Octavius went to war on HIV, and Goosey's trying to let Octavius know that the medication for HIV is so advanced now that one can possibly, if they can afford it, live slightly comfortably when they have that, when they have HIV. Magic Johnson, the billionaire, barely a billionaire, is a living example. But I mean, if you're not a billionaire, can you really? I don't know. It's a good argument that they both had. I don't know who's right, who's wrong. But here's some, I don't want to look at the key takeaways, but look at 1980. Does that bring nostalgia to some of you guys? Pac-Man being invented, the first decade was memorable for political drama, cable TV, and games we couldn't keep our hands off of. Arcades were jammed with people playing new video games called Pac-Man. Some of those early gamers might also be fiddling with a colorful Rubik's Cube. I mean, it is what it is. U.S. Olympic hockey team. Dang, look at all this stuff from the 80s. Look at this. Mount St. Helens erupts. Y'all remember all this? Y'all know Pac-Man. John Lennon is assassinated. Yikes. And then 81, remember Princess Diana? Man, y'all remember that? MTV began in 81. Some of y'all are having going down that memory lane. IBM releases the IBM Model 5150. There's that 5150. Sandra Day O'Connor becomes the first female justice on the Supreme Court. Now there are schools named after her, which is awesome. Well, I mean, look at all this stuff. Look at 82. Oh, snap. Look at the King of Pop right there. Y'all see that? Y'all see the King of Pop? 82. Literally was the news when USA Today, with its colorful graphics and short articles, made headlines as the first nationwide newspaper, USA Today. Wow. The Commodore 64 personal computer is unveiled. Oh, wow. Dang, y'all, look at this. Look at all of this from 82. Vietnam War Memorial is established in Washington, D.C. Okay. Best-selling album Thriller. All right. Epcot Center is opened in Florida. Dang, man. Look at 83. First woman goes into space, right? The first woman all up in space. Yep. Look at this, man. This is MASH. After 11 years and 256 episodes, MASH series set during the Korean War ends. Dang, the MASH. Sally Ride, that's the first woman. Yep. Ronald Reagan signs legislation making Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a federal holiday. Look at Ronald Reagan, November 2nd. 84. Prime Minister. Yep. Indira Gandhi. You see that? Look at 84. AT&T, known as the Bell System, is broken up into a series of regional telephone companies, ending its monopoly. Damn. Sorry, AT&T. In 84, we came through. Oh, man. Elected to a second term. There go Ronald Reagan right there again. All right, look at 85. Oh, snap. Not Gorbachev. Lord. Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie called We Are the World is recorded. Damn. U.S. Food and Drug Administration approves the first blood test to detect the virus and causes of AIDS. This is 84, y'all. Oh, 85. I'm sorry. This is 85, y'all. This is where the super heightened awareness of HIV and AIDS comes into play. Coca-Cola makes that new Coke that nobody liked. TWA Flight 847, a flight from Cairo to San Diego, was hijacked by terrorists. It's a lot of that going on. I think I may have skipped over it, but I did. I think that's when Iran in the U.S. handled. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. 86. Oh, no. We can't forget about the Nintendo. 85, the Nintendo makes its debut to U.S. Ooh, I love me some Nintendo. You got to blow on that mother effing cartridge. You got to click the game into the console. You got to make sure it clicks in there so that you know your shit is working properly. The Challenger explodes. Yeah, I may have skipped over some stuff that I needed to not skip over. But this is what, 86 right here? Yeah, we in 86. Yep. The Soviet Union launches Mir space station. Nope. Didn't even want to highlight that. There's something that I wanted to highlight that I think I accidentally skipped over. Look at this asshole. Look at that Nazi. That asshole. I'm glad he got his just due. Mr. Klaus. That mother effer, man. West Berlin. This is when in 80, what is this, 87, when 87, when Ronald Reagan challenges Berlin. The wall's coming down. Y'all remember that shit? That was we were forced to watch that in elementary. I was anyways. I was forced to watch that shit. 88, here we go. 88. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll back. Oh, wait, hold on. Soviet troops begin pulling out of Afghanistan. Afghanistan, Iran, all the people, they've always had issues with folk. I'm not saying but they always having issues with folk. The Iran-Iraq war ends when Iran accepts UN brokered ceasefire. Look at Iran. Osama bin Laden forms Al-Qaeda. Damn. Y'all see that? And then 89 right here. Maybe I didn't skip over. Hold on. 89 right here. There go 89 right there. The ExxonMobil tanker. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that ExxonMobil, that big old controversy? The Berlin Wall falls. Oh, damn. The U.S. troops invade Panama. One thing that I kind of skipped over. Hold on, let me find it, because I want us to just look at it real quick, and then we're gonna jump right into the mother effing series, okay? But I just wanted to go over the 80s, because if you're an 80s baby, this is when you entered into the world. You shouldn't be ashamed of this shit. You shouldn't have envy over the 90s and 2000s babies. You shouldn't have envy over that. All right, you shouldn't be ashamed of when you were born, when you made your debut into this world, and we're definitely going to talk about it. Damn, where did I really just skip over it that fast? Hold on. Unless it's not on here, unless I'm tripping, unless I was dreaming. Ooh, please pray for me. Y'all could tell in my voice that I'm not all the way there. I'm still kind of under the weather. Let's see. Argentine forces. Nope, that's not it. Damn, where is it? Okay. I think I might have skipped over it. Oh no, here it is. January 20th of 1981. What does that say? January 20th of 1981. It says Iran releases 52 U.S. hostages held in Tehran for 444 days. There has always been issues. Let's not be blind. Let's not be biased. What we are experiencing today is nothing new. There's always been problems. And with that said, we are about to jump into our series, 80's Baby. Your 20s are over. Let's turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Yeah. People get so confused. How is this doctor in the hood? Navigate the system, refuse to let it take my mind, body, and soul. You see what's good is misunderstood. Divine got me not sold out, but walked in the fire. Develop a real team. Try, tested it, true desire to really reach one. Teach one and learn from one. In a sector where they snake one, break one. Ain't no loyalty, niggas is fake. I see all them leaves. I got the rake, yeah, let's go ahead and rake them up. Bag them up, yeah, let's go ahead and bag them up. Rake them up, let's body bag them up. What's the point when they don't play by the rules of engagement? They on that fake shit. Get it? They can't hang when the pressure cooker's on top temp. That's when they resort to doxing, calling jobs in. Weak-minded with weak views and tight wigs. All of their time spent watching YouTube with no riz. Kids in the background screaming for attention they don't get. For some cash outs and AdSense checks already spent. for some cash apps and AdSense checks already spent. Watch us turn up. 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 Shout out to the codification squad. Shout out to the green team. Shout out to the code breakers. Shout out to code fam. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. We here. Let's go. Man, this feels good. Although I am still a little bit under the weather, it feels good. It feels good to be live. It feels good to be here. Please hit that like button. This is it. This is it. This is it. Let's go ahead and jump right into this series. 80's, baby. Your 20s are over. Your 20s are over. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards. Typically, I would jump into the series and then I would talk about some subsections that you guys have brought up that you would like for me to address. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and address the subsection first. All right. So let's talk about son husbands. What is the psychology behind son husbands? You know, what typically happens is a mother that doesn't have her husband or mate or, you know, a man in the household. What they do is they put the primary emotional responsibilities and the functionality of what their husband or partner was supposed to give them onto their son, especially their oldest son. And so that's typically what happens, and those types of emotions from a mother to their son are so unhealthy that it can warp the mindset of the son. The maternal bonding can be skewed. It can be skewed. It can be off. Factors like systemic racism and higher rates of single-parent households, you know, many Black men are raised in close, emotional, intense, or protective relationships with their mother because of no father in the home. Another thing is, and sometimes this is why those YNs be out on the streets going crazy, because they are trying to make ends meet. Think about this. You have your 15, 16, 17-year-old son, 18, 19, 20 now, because, you know, throughout the years, you know, you grow up and you're not lying about your age. You have them with these responsibilities that they are the quote unquote man of the house. It's hard enough for some Black men who have their head on right to go out and make ends meet in a world that's dominated by other races and cultures. You see, I'm not of the mindset that it's easy being Black in America. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you grew up. I don't care if you grew up affluent. I don't care. You still have to somehow make your mother effing way, and you are already set back at least 5 rungs if you are Black in America, male or mother effing female. It doesn't matter. So with that on your back already. Imagine the pressures of being 15, 16, 17 years old, and you have to try to make ends meet. You have to try to partner with your mom in order so that your brothers and sisters could live. The financial support that's on your shoulders is crazy. The emotional decision making. We've seen countless movies dealing with this. The mother's confidant. You have to bear the brunt of her emotional outburst. And she looks at you as if, especially if you're not pulling your weight, she looks at you as if you're the problem. We know that that type of dynamic, that type of relationship can create tension whenever that son finally gets to grow up, moves out of the house, and now he has his own relationship that is extremely, extremely unhealthy because he does not know the dynamics of a real husband and wife relationship. One of the reasons why it could be extremely unhealthy is because the child who is now a grown ass man in his relationship cannot break that intense bond that his mother forced upon him, and he cannot prioritize his spouse. Isn't that crazy? He cannot prioritize his spouse. Now, I seen that QI wants to tie this into Lemon, saying he's the youngest. Well, this does not have anything. This is not primarily about Lemon. This is educational. Somebody wanted to know about son husbands, and this is what I'm breaking down. You know, I know that Lemon is the thread of this, but you got to understand that sometimes the information you gotta know how to navigate the information. This is evergreen information. Trust me, at the end of the day, Jordan Dash is not evergreen content. So QI, I'm pretty sure you understand that, but I get what you're getting at. Last thing that I want to talk about before we actually jump into the series is what needs to happen is the son needs a therapist. If the son does not get a therapist, the percentage of him having a healthy marriage is extremely low. He has to learn how to transition from a son to a real husband. In order for that to happen without a therapist is nearly impossible because that son is going to have to create healthy boundaries. He's going to have to mature somehow, some way, or just pray that his mother matures and finds somebody in her life where she can relieve that burden off of her son. Because what needs to not happen is the son needs to not keep prioritizing the mother's needs over his spouse's. And so I just wanted to cover that. And thank you for whoever had that suggestion for me to cover that. Y'all see that that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to cover your suggestions. I can't remember what Dory wanted me to touch on something. I can't remember exactly. I wish I would have wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. But there was something Dory wanted me to touch on. Yeah, no doubt, QI, no doubt, no doubt. And I know it can get a little fishy because we talk a lot about the B sector stuff, but this is a series that, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to run up my YouTube numbers forever. Uh-oh. Look at Honey Love renewing her shit right here. There she go. Renewing her. She's like, sometimes, memberships run out. And let me go ahead and make sure I renew my shit. And here I am. So let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Honey Love. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So jumping into the series. Okay. we got to look at some of the motivators of lying about your age. We got to understand some of the motivations. Now, I know that there are countless motivations about lying about your age. There are, we live in a, what is it called? A melting pot here in the United States. You can lie about your age for vitality, attractiveness, for opportunities. You can lie about your age to be accepted. You might want to try to avoid age-related discrimination, especially if you're applying for a job or something. You want to be more competitive in society. There are countless reasons. And you may lie about your age because you actually feel younger than what you really are. And so you lie. And so you genuinely identify with the age that you gave yourself because that's how you're feeling. What's crazy about me is I look way younger than I really am, and I don't like it because the way my body feels is how old I am. But the way I look is so much younger. And so when I used to be a teacher and we would do like our pep rallies, and it'd be like teach staff versus students, basketball, soccer, and all these things, the staff would always be like, come on, Dr. Binary, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I'm like, but the way my knees are built and the way my back is hurting, hell no. But the way I look, they think that I should be able to keep up. So it's a gift and a curse. You see, but age can be a sensitive topic, especially when you're dealing with women, right? They don't even want you to ask them how old they are. And so what happens is, sometimes they will lie about their age to avoid some of the negative stereotypes that are age related that brings forth anxieties. But in this particular case, we're talking about the man behind the mask. The anxieties that come to the man behind the mask are not necessarily the negative age-related stereotypes. The anxiety that comes behind the man behind the mask is the Peter Pan syndrome, never wanting to grow up, having to be compared with, okay, this is how old you are, these are the milestones, this is where you should be. The societal pressures. I find it interesting as well. I brought it up briefly that the man behind the mask actually lies about his age in order to attract older women. Now, what your mind normally and naturally gravitates towards is, wow, he must love him some cougars. But what I want us to do is I want us to remove ourselves from a sexual thought. He wants to attract older women, maybe because, and let's tie the two together, son-husband relationships. Mama's tired now. So mama allows the youngest, right, QI, to run rampant and never grow up. And so the man behind the mask lies about his age in order to attract a motherly, nurturing figure to always have his back. God damn. Mm, 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 mm. And welcome to all. Thank y'all all so much for coming in here. If I highlight you, that means I'm saying hi to you. That means I am saying hi. I can't, keep up like by reading every damn thing, but I do want to stop and pause and read some of the things that I see. I have to tell my daughter that all the time. I might not look my age, but these bones let me know every day, and those are mother effing facts. And Asia quietly slides into class. Thank you. You are late, but I see you, and thank you for being here. Miss in front of my name at work. I knew. And hey, Phoebe. Hey. All right. So Let me get my first banner up here. Like I said, the motivators, the motivations of lying about your age. And like I said, we are talking about the man behind the mask, but we're not primarily focused on the man behind the mask because we want to hit all things, right? So some of the motivations of lying about your age could be societal pressures, societal pressures, especially in America. Now there is a balance in America. I'm not going to hold you, but the push is youth. In America, the push is youth. You want to be young. Where's the fountain of youth? We got sickos in America and all across the world that will do nasty things in order to hopefully stay young. Drinking blood, using the circumcision of Korean baby. Like y'all already know. Let me stop. Let me stop before I get hit for misinformation. But you guys already know there's some sickos that do things for youth to try to be young. And then there's just pressures to downplay just really how old you are. You know, shoot, there have been studies that suggest that women, yeah, may be more likely to lie about their age than men, particularly in the context where appearance is important. But in this particular context, we're talking about the man behind the mask and why he feels obliged to lie about his age. And we know now that if we take sex out of it, it's because of an unhealthy relationship that he has with his mother. Now, if we are y'all listening? Because this is going to get good. If we add sex into it, what we cannot do is deny the facts that we seen Grinder. And Grinder is notorious for having men on there that lie about their age to attract younger men. Like I said, I'm not a primary source. I'm not gay, but these are just things that I've read about. And don't forget, the man behind the mask definitely has or had, or I'm pretty sure he still has, just under a different name, a Grinder account. Now, ageism. So there are the societal pressures of why my bad. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm under the weather. Those are the societal pressures that will motivate somebody to lie about their age. Now, let's keep it real. Ageism is a real thing. Physically, cognitively, you decline. And because of that, it could lead to societal exclusion. And because of that, it can limit the access to your opportunities. And your wisdom is hardly celebrated. But listen to this. When focused on, your wisdom is desperately needed. Only when focused on. That's why we see movies now when the older person gets a fair, honest look, they transform the workplace of the younger people because they have so much wisdom. The only issue that we face as older folk is the opportunity to display our worth. When you are in an environment that does not shame due to age, race, creed, nationality, sexuality, when you are privileged to be in that type of environment, you thrive. It doesn't matter how old you are. When you are in a diverse environment, you thrive because you have all of the elements. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But because of the type of society we live in, it's hard to find that. But when you do, you thrive. That's the best workplace to actually live in, is when you're in an environment like that. All right, let's see. Boom, boom. Just going through the chat. Nope, I'm loving my age. With age comes knowledge and wisdom. Let's go, brown sugar. That's right. Good morning again. I had to step out and deal with the oh snap. Uh-huh. Here and proud. There's a proud 80s baby right there. Let's go now. Let's go. Now, I'm not an 80s baby, but we got to talk about it, right? And one of the reasons we're talking about 80s baby is because there is somebody, the man behind the mask, okay? The man behind the mask loves showing off his tattoos. So he loves showing off his tattoos, but he also loved uh bragging almost about how young he is. Right? So he loved showing off his tattoos, but he also loved showing off how young he is, or at least talking about how young he is. Hopefully I can remember that, Rasta baby, because after this I got one more show, and then after that show I gotta take my block hours to bed. But hopefully I can remember to, you know what, just let me go ahead and check right now. Hold on, y'all, give me a second, because I know I'm gonna forget. So let me check right now. Oh yeah. I'm up on that. Don't forget, we have a show after this show. Don't forget, we have a show after this show. Let me share my screen real quick. All right, let me share my screen real quick. Boom. Okay, let me take this banner down just real quick. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. We're on it. We are on it. I'm not trying to admit too much, LaDon, but I do be admitting some. You know, I'm trying my hardest not to overshare. You know, let me go ahead and remove this here banner while my screen is shared. All right, so there we go right there. Let me go ahead and remove that comment. So 9 is not guilty by association. There you go, 9. You're welcome. All right, so you can't brag about being in your 20s. Let me go ahead and I think that's as big as I can make it. You can't brag about being in your 20s and show off your tattoos that have 80's baby on there. How can you brag about being in your 20s while showing off your tattoo of 80's baby? The youngest you can be if you were born in the 80's is 36 and a half. And so I just wanted to make that point right there, that you cannot brag about being in your 20's when you love to show off your tattoos and it says 80's baby. And don't forget, the detectives, the beef sector detectives, figured this shit out way before Diva dropped the license. 80's babies, your 20's are over. So let's jump right on back into the topic, you know, which is the 80's baby. You know what I mean? Thank you guys so much for being here. Bush baby. I remember, right, V? You remember? Okay, now we're talking about the motivations, right? The motivations of why someone would lie about their age. And we talked about societal pressures. We talked about ageism. Now let's talk about personal identity. You see, lying about your age in order to feel younger, feel more attractive, feel more competitive, and you lie about your age to potentially boost your self esteem. But what people fail to understand is a lie always has to be maintained. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that in the back of the church? A lie always has to be maintained, especially over time. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this later. But when you're maintaining that lie over time, what it tends to do is create this internal conflict with yourself and this dissonance between your true self and your persona that you're projecting. It's a war. There's a dissonance between yourself and this persona. And now you have this enmity amongst your mother effing self. And then guilt starts to creep in, and anxiety and stress. It's crazy because if you continuously downplay your age, you can create a disconnect between your internal experience and your external presentation. God damn. There's a disconnect. I want us to really try to think of the psychological effects that the man behind the mask must have had when he continuously talked about being in his 20s, and because of the son-husband relationships and the nurturing moms thought this, and they came through and supported him as if they were their youngest child, and he was sucking on their bosoms as a 40-year-old man pretending to be 20. What do you think the psychological effects happened to this man when he was exposed? And the rotten 40-year-old teeth had to be fixed that were sucking on them nipples. I'm thinking the connection with others has become a lot more difficult. Because what we essentially did by outing the age, what we did was we forced the man behind the mask to step up his maturity level. And because the man behind the mask never really had to do that, it was very, very challenging. Very challenging. You see, one of the motivators to lie about how old you are is not only societal pressures, ageism, and personal identity, but it's also self-perception. Ain't that some shit? It is also self-perception. The character, QI, has been unmasked. Cognitive dissonance, and we're definitely going to jump into that a little bit. Spent his 20s being oh, wow, damn. Yeah, we're getting there. They'll rot your teeth. They will rot your teeth. Being on that breast assist for too long, damn it. Especially when they weren't meant for you. That, you know what I'm saying? Let me jump back into it. We have to be careful if we're going to lie about our age. Because what tends to happen is once we start to lie about who we are, and then the truth starts to come out, what tends to happen is we have self-fulfilling prophecies. Believing yourself to be younger, it can have some positive health benefits. You do a lot more, you're a little bit more active. But clinging to a false age identity can limit personal growth and acceptance of the natural aging process. The man behind the mask struggles with self-perception because he has prevented himself from embracing his natural stages of life. He is struggling accepting the positive aspects of aging because he lacks wisdom, experience, and maturity. He has not experienced his age. I can't remember who spoke on it because I was kind of out of it because I'm still not feeling my best, but it could have been ODS or somebody spoke on how the man behind the mask, or it could have been Grandpa Joe out of all people, spoke on how the man behind the mask tried to thrive without his mama, lost his job, considered YouTube to be a great replacement, put all that he had into YouTube, and now lives with his mama, thus stifling the experience of his age, which is 37, 38, maybe. I don't know. You see, his clinging to a younger self image is having him miss out on so many opportunities. Is YouTube really going to be his claim to fame when he's 45, 50? Where is the personal and professional growth? It's non-existent because he refuses to embrace his true age, thus, like I said before, missing out on real experiences that allows for maturation to happen. Damn. And it's a sad case of events. So those are the motivations, right? Societal pressures, ageism, personal identity, and self-perception. But what about the impacts? That lying about your age. 80's babies. Your 20s are over. There's no way you could be born in the 80s and be 20. If you were born in 1989, the youngest you could possibly be is 36 and a half. But what about the impacts of lying about how old you are on relationships? What about the social interactions and trust? What about those things? I think we need to look a little bit into those. Okay, let's see what let's see my bad. I had you up there. Like, take me down, please. I'm here, but yeah. You don't want to be a target. I understand. Okay. A lot of these hens have left. He has few, but the number has been reduced. And I'm thankful for that because not only are they helping him, but they're helping themselves as well, which is awesome. Okay, sweet. I am so glad you love this series and thank you for supporting me the way that you do. Good morning, Fact. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's see. I'm just getting down through these messages. Um, I'm not diagnosing. We just talking. We just talking. What is too big for skinny jeans saying? Lemon is that high school ball player that didn't make it to college, so came back to high school as a freshman and just to try again. Yeah. Yep. Lemon is that guy from Africa that was what 27 years old and became a freshman in high school over here in America, dunking on everybody. V says she's ageless. Lord Jesus help me. Lord Jesus help me. Yeah, 36 and a half is are you lusting? I thought you was married, lead. I'm just kidding. I know, listening, understood. And thank you for being here, sis Trish. Like I said, fire ass content creator. Y'all don't sleep on her. Please don't sleep on her. All right, so let's jump into it. Impacts on relationships. Impacts. So the motivations that we talked about are kind of understandable. We know that, come on, it's only going to benefit you to be honest about your age in the long run. Because you don't have to maintain that lie over time. The truth does not have to be maintained. The truth is just the mother effing truth. And the truth stands above all things and withstands the test of time. Lies always have to be maintained. So just tell the truth about your age. And what that does is it promotes authenticity. It avoids all the unnecessary complications. And it will allow the man behind the mask to embrace his unique stages of life that he is pushing down and suppressing. And we are going to talk a little bit about cognitive dissonance, but when the rubber meets the road and when A meets B and when those worlds collide, he is going to have a mind F the size of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, what happens when you're in these close relationships and you just keep repeating a lie, especially about your age? What tends to happen is trust and intimacy starts to erode. We see that with Lolo. Even though it wasn't really ageism, but it was the lie of, I'm your friend. Also, when you want to lie about your age and you want people to think that you're younger than you really are, you're starting to attract people to you based on superficial qualities rather than what? Genuine compatibility. This is why I will not lie about my interest. I will not lie about my age. I will not lie about those things because on YouTube, I want to have a community that I can freaking relate with. Why would I want to be younger and then wrestle with myself when I want to start talking about older things in my experiences in real life and not just pretend like I'm some kind of guru that knows all these older things and younger things? But when I want to talk about some of the life experiences that I'm having today in the present moment, I want to do so with like-minded people that experiences the same things that I experience, and we can have a dope ass conversation. And me not lying about my age and where I'm from and where I'm at in life, if there is someone younger in our YouTube community, and I do want to dig deeper into the YouTube community tabs on here so that we can create our own real Code Fam community. I just want to look at the nuances between it because we know what type of sector we in, and I don't want them to destroy it. You already know. The more and more you do on YouTube, the more rope you give your ops to try to take your ass out. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah. So if they're younger in our community, they can glean from our wisdom and our mistakes. And if they're older, I can use them to glean from their wisdom and their mistakes and their advice in life. It's a beautiful dynamic. But if I'm lying about my age and my identity, there's always going to be this shift, this cognitive dissonance, this disconnect. I have to shift to the internal, who I am, who I really am, to the external, and that's the projection that I'm giving off that is not true to myself. This could be mentally taxing, and you won't feel grounded. The man behind the mask has never really felt grounded. And I'm pretty sure with the beef sector detectives exposing him, although he still tried to deny, even though they seen the 80's baby tattoo, he still tried to deny it and say it was something else or whatever. But then Diva showed everything and we seen, I'm pretty sure that was a relief. He may not admit it, but I'm pretty sure that was a relief. Some people are saying, man, he lies about a lot. That is true. Not the air up there. Self-admitted narcissist. He admitted that. Yeah, we see it. I'm surprised he admitted it. Yeah, he has that Hollywood smile. Exactly, Kiki. And this is the point I'm really trying to make. This is not just for Lemon. It's more than just him in the dungeon that has this issue. Yeah. Sorry about that. He looks his age, 36, and only fooling himself. Damn. And he does lie a lot. Yep, we got to talk about it. I'm gonna briefly talk about it. I have a section for it. Lovely. That's because that helps him detach from reality. Yes, big facts. Those are big facts right there. Which reminds me, we refuse to walk in the delusion. Peppermint soap. Merchandise coming, not peppermint soap. That actually sounds pretty dope. This is an excellent breakdown, though. I already love it. I need this whole series on DVD, Blu-ray, preferably. Brother of a certain age says, yeah, we would kind of be awkward if you were complaining about your bad shoulders and arthritis if you were in your 20s. You see what I'm saying? Sheesh. And those are facts. A whole character that lacks actual character created by accident. Damn. One day you should discuss the I don't know. You got me on that one. Oedipus complex. I had to slow down for a second. Let me look it up real quick. And let me put it in the whatchamacallit. Oedipus complex. Let me look it up. Freud. Oh man, the id. Is that what we're talking about? Okay, the id. Okay, all right. Damn. Man, I gotta dust off some books. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, Netta. Sorry. Shit. It's been a minute for me. I have not been in my studies. All right. So yeah, let me. Okay, I got that down already. Freely about his homosexuality counterparts because he's afraid to live in his truth. Okay. Yeah. All right. Damn. Don't forget about the mustache, Lord Jesus. Yes, he does, and I'm surprised. Okay. All right. Hold on. I think we're getting there. I can't read every comment. I just have to read the ones that kind of mom's age and said his mom was younger than Lady Nika. His mom, oh damn, not talking, put his mama's age out there. It's giving more VHS vibes. Okay, not DVD. Okay, good. The id, yes, the id. Yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, the id. Yep. We know about the id. Yep. Yeah. Oh my gosh, y'all crazy. Well, it's good to hear binary voice, not the cartoon voice. Lord Jesus. All right, cool. Let's jump back into what we were talking about, impacts on relationship. Thank you guys for your contributions from the chat. Some of y'all on point, others, y'all ain't ish. All right, so what we can't forget is that people lie about their age for various reasons. Okay, so we can't just try to generalize this shit. But what I'm doing, to be specific, is I'm talking about the man behind the mask. Now, although the man behind the mask is the thread, I do want to kind of touch on the broader perspectives. And so that's what I'm doing. Some people, they just might deal with these challenges more effectively than others. Authenticity is key. Authenticity is key. The social interactions that you have with people, those types of relationships, is built on relating to what you really got going on in life. And what the man behind the mask has to do is juggle different age identities within different social circles. And like I said before, this can be mentally exhausting. He on YouTube used to be 20 something years old, and people, including myself, believed it. Now, on the rare occasion when he, the man behind the mask, logs off of YouTube, he is now an 80's baby. You're no longer in your 20's. And so now there are responsibilities that he can't escape because he's not online. Those societal pressures and those real reality type of relationships leads to the man behind the mask doing dumb shit. Having young crackheads pretty much stealing for him, walking up and down the streets trying to record people for his live stream when they don't want to be recorded, chasing them down the street, saying, "My audience wants to hear from you." Imagine a 37-year-old man chasing a 20-year-old young adult down the street. You see, it's perspective. We got to think about these social interactions when somebody lies about their age. At that time, we thought it was a 20-year-old chasing a 20-year-old. The pressures of maturing will have a 37, 38-year-old driving without a license, crashing into another vehicle, poles, all kinds of shit, and fleeing the scene because he, the man behind the mask, does not know how to take on adult responsibilities. It's mentally and emotionally draining. It's exhausting because in his real life, he wishes he was 20. But in reality, the expectation that society has for him is, "Ninja, you 40 years old. You gotta get your shit together." And y'all wanted to talk about cognitive dissonance? That's another form. It creates a disconnection between his inner and external self. There is a disconnect between his true self and his presented self. And what does that do? It hinders authentic interactions in both places, whether it's YouTube or mother effing reality. God damn. That's just the truth. That's just the truth of the matter. It's the truth of the matter. Talking about ego. My Harley Quinn's talking about Norman Bates. Lord Jesus. LaDon's talking her shit, understood. Said his mama was 48, so his mama's like 8 years older. Is what his real face? I have no idea. Unless you're talking about Red Hat. I guess that's not his real face. Asia receives it. Authenticity is irresistible. Fact over there preaching. Theater, the acting, the voices. And remember, he has never really been cast for anything, and he didn't even have a lead role in high school. But that was the biggest accomplishment in his life, that he made the team. Don't forget, he admitted that he's never had a lead role even in high school. The responsibilities, I guess, of being an adult. It's sad. It's deep and it's weird. I appreciate that. Breakdown is definitely accurate. I appreciate that. Storyline says, what I discovered via VS yesterday is that Lemon is playing a deep character online. Virtual reality becomes reality. And don't forget, I do have a live scheduled for after this live, and we are going to get more into that. Okay, we're definitely going to get into that because y'all already know I have to do my commentary. He's definitely creating his own reality. His hairline's receding. He's losing teeth, health declining, and moving like a 21-year-old. Gotcha. Okay, vibes. Candy Cane says, cha. All right, Toya, good to see you. No. Absolutely, Kiki. I don't know if you've seen my last Behind the Mask series that I did, episode 2, but I did definitely talk about the HPD. You're the one that suggested it, and I definitely covered that. So if you didn't see it, go ahead and get that replay so you can see. But yeah, absolutely, 100% right. Okay. Oh dang! Not you never re-entered the chat because of that. Lord Jesus, yeah. I know Grandpa Joe is loving that because he constantly brings that up. So there it is. So the impacts on relationship. We talked about the social interactions, right? We talked about the social interactions. Now let's go ahead and see how that ties into trust. You know, when you lie about who you are, not necessarily only your age, but just who you are in general. And then you can't maintain that lie over time because the truth has a funny way of presenting itself. This is Bible. It says, what's in the dark always comes to light. So this isn't in the Bible. So it would behoove you to just tell the mother effing truth, because at the end of the day, the truth will always reveal itself. It will always reveal itself. So how can there be trust when your lies are repetitive and they are always being exposed? Lying about your age can create a distorted perspective on relationships. Like I said, it makes people focus on superficial aspects, because I'm telling you, you lie about your age so that you can turn back the hands of time in order to present yourself in an artificial, superficial way. And once you are exposed, that trust disseminates, disappears, goes away. Vamonos. So the impact that lying about your age has is it almost forces people to no longer trust you. And now I know we are talking primarily about the man behind the mask. So I must say that it's more than just lying about your age when dealing with him. He lies a lot about a lot of things. But I wanted to primarily focus on this because it's a good topic for America. Because in America, we prioritize youth mainly. But like I said, when you can find those diverse circles, that's when you thrive fully in America. All right, I'm almost done with this portion, and then we're going to do our deep dive. And then I'm going to call it a day, not a day. I'm going to call it, that's it for the series for this episode 3. And then I'm going to go live again, and we're going to talk about all hell breaking loose in the sector. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. What I want to do is talk about what needs to be done as far as, lying about your age. 80's baby, you're no longer in your 20s. Your 20s are over. You got to learn how to defeat the stigma. The stigma of getting older sucks. It's just not true. When you can embrace aging, your life actually gets better. I love when I get into the presence of an older person that don't give a fuck about anything because they realize all aspects of the matrix. They love Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, God, Yahweh, Buddha, I don't know, whoever their religious preferences are, but they will still cuss your ass out because they realize that even religious aspects are part of the matrix. They are no longer connected to the system. They are no longer driven by the binary code, the ones and zeros. They are almost what is it called? Transcendent. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. They're above it all. And they notice that all that really matters in this life is love. They love their family, they love their friends, and they love themselves. I love coming across older people that are like that because it's sobering, refreshing, and it almost appears as if the matrix can't do shit with them. Embracing who you are, embracing the aging process is the only way to defeat the stigma that younger is better. That's the only way. Let me see what you guys are saying. I think I went back enough. All right. Toya, good to see you, Toya. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a supporter the way that you are. Oh, yeah. Fact with the no. Yeah, that made him no longer want to. Yeah, that was so funny. The father figure thing with the dirty coyote is also very weird. That is facts. The dirty coyote and Ken Nola are kind of beefing, but who cares? Be right back. I love shot like this. Okay, fact. Appreciate you. I appreciate you for making the comment section pop fact this morning. I appreciate that. Compelled to talk with Bay. Thank you for being here. Always comes out in the wash, my granny would say, and that's facts. Hey, Barn Dog, good morning. Very defensive, right? QI, very defensive. It happens. Yep. Phoebe, there you are. Rumor on the YouTube streets is you are You are some bad kimchi and yeah, I ate some bad kimchi. Look, I can't even laugh, or you can hear it in my chest. Not I ate some bad kimchi. I'm trying not to laugh because you're gonna hear me coughing like crazy, and I don't want to do that. Not I ate some bad kimchi. Lord Jesus, help me. Lord, help me. Ooh, I want to laugh so hard right now, but I can't. Hold on, y'all. Now I see what you did to me, Barn Dog. Ugh, ugh, that was nasty. Ooh, that was nasty. What's up, Miss Ava? All right. Imperfections in all. Imperfections and all. Those are facts. Uh I don't know if he's that calculated. He could be. I could be wrong. I don't know if he's that calculated, those storylines. I'm not too sure. Yeah, Barn Dog, you ain't shit. You got me on that one. You got me. You almost took me out. My life was almost over, brother. I can't be laughing like that. I can't be laughing. It hurts when I laugh, just so you know. My chest is going through some pains right now. But anyways, let's jump back into it. It's enough pressure on us to just be who we are in mother effing society, because society always wants us to be something that we're not. They always have us to believe that who we are is not enough, when in actuality, that's all you can be. So I think we have to really embrace the aging process. We got to be more mindful of the negative self talk that we have. And we got to recognize how much of the world that we've internalized, which is why we have this negative self talk about our aging process. That's why, like what Rodney said, who is a brother of a certain age, talked about how would, you know, how could he relate if I'm talking about, my bad back and arthritis and all kinds of shit that I got going on, carpal tunnel and all that shit, if I'm 20? You see, ultimately, what it boils down to is owning our life. And listen to this. Listen to this. I thought this was pretty clever. Ultimately, what it boils down to is owning our life and our life story. We are the narrators of our shit. And as a main character of your story or our story, ageism cannot be a part of it. Wherever we are at in life, that's who we are, and that's our shit. Own that shit. We need to wear our years on this mother effing earth with pride, damn it. We can't hide the shit. Especially if we know shit, if we live through shit. That's why I don't shame. I will talk some shit. I will clown a little bit in a very joking way, because an older person likes to clown and joke around too. They're still people. But I love to put aging in a positive light. One of the things that Mrs. Code and I love is our gray hair. We're not mobbing around with all kinds of dye and shit to try to make ourselves look younger. We're not doing that shit. It's bad enough that both of us really look young already. We embrace our gray hair. It's a sign of wisdom. I feel the older I get, the more empowered I feel. The more experience under my belt, the more confident I am to give advice. So whenever I figure out this code fam community shit that YouTube got going on, just know that you will be celebrated the older you are in our group. You will be honored more the older you are in our group. It's just, it is what a mother effing is. I want to recognize the privilege of somebody living to be 75, 80, 90 years old. If you're in your 60s, damn, you got a lot to teach me. And I want to be step by step, if you're part of the Code Fam community, in celebrating you. So there's that. So now it's time to go ahead and jump into, we are going to go ahead and jump into, hold on. Let's see where we're at. All right. Fact said, yeah, he's a morning person. Most older folks are morning persons. God, I can't with y'all. He never came up completely and will never meet anyone again. Oh, Lord Jesus. Difficult to be who you really are, but once you find your place in this world, oh, yes, nothing better than that. Gracefully grows old gracefully. I'm definitely in the pulpit this morning. Well, yep. You already know I'm preaching this morning. This whole series is just sermons, ain't it? Ain't it? Like Wiley, and just be proud of his eye. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hear you. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Those are facts, my Harley Quinn. We hear Don play, just trying to get this series going, you know. All right, we doing it. Feeling pretty good, Cosmic. A morning person. Yeah, that's good. Me too. No damn choice. Work starts at 5. I don't have a grandparent that lived less than 90 years old. Gratitude is in order. Let's go. Fact. That's fire. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and transition into the steak and potatoes. And that is right here. Here's my bullet points. And then after we cover this, I will go ahead and end this live. And then I will start up another live that's talking about all hell breaking loose in the beefing sector. And I'll give you guys my thoughts on what's going on and what I see, especially with VS. I mean, VS has these sector streets on fire. So I'll definitely be talking about that. The link will be dropped. Don't forget the codification squad. And don't forget what makes the codification squad is you are a member and a moderator. Don't forget they dictate who lasts on my panel and who does not. I do try to advocate for good conversation though. Like when Dory hit the panel and we were having great conversation, you know, I was trying my hardest to advocate for her, but the codification squad didn't give a damn what I had to say. And she left before she got dropped. So, I mean, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and jump right into this. Let's jump right into this. So, lying about being younger than you actually are. There are tons of negative psychological effects. You see, like I was trying to make my point earlier, maintaining a lie requires constant mental effort. Constant mental effort. Lemon didn't know. The man behind the mask didn't know if he was 24, 26, 27, about to be 30. And this was all in the course of a year. So from the time he started his channel till now, he changed his age about 45,000 times. He didn't know if he was 23, 24, 27, about to be 30. Because he could not remember his lies. And so when the 80's baby tattoo was revealed, you could tell there was some anxiety. And I can't even remember the lie he told about the 80's baby tattoo of saying maybe it was somebody in his life that was born in the 80's and he was paying homage, whatever. And I find it interesting that he lied about his age, and when the beefing sector detectives was on his ass, there was a fear of exposure. And the reason why there was a fear of exposure is because don't forget the primary reason that the man behind the mask was lying about his age was so that he can get the nurturing effects on YouTube that he kind of gets at home, even though in reality at home that nurturing shit was running thin because we heard at nauseum, especially through a Shock Him Raw live stream, that the mama was saying, "Get out, get out." And so maintaining that lie led to some chronic stress. So lying about your age definitely increases anxiety and stress. The man behind the mask is now unveiling himself, and we can see pictures of who he really is. However, yesterday we went over some of the thumbnail pictures that he is showing of himself, and Trish did a wonderful job breaking down the psychology behind one of the thumbnails. Give me 1 second, you guys. Oh, it's my freaking chest. Give me 1 second. Woo, sorry about that. Sorry about that. But back to what I was saying. What she did was broke down one of the psychological effects of one of the thumbnails that he had, the psychology behind the mental thought process of distorting his face because this is how he thinks he looks. And although we are looking at it like, what the hell is going on with the cheekbones resting on the other cheek that's sunken in, that brings forth another cheek, which is a extra chin. Like, what the hell is happening with this photo? Like, there are layers upon layers upon layers. Like, we had questions. We didn't understand what was happening with that particular photo, but Trish let us know that this is how he views himself. There are cheeks on top of cheeks, pause, on top of double chin, pause. Like, how is your cheek in your chin like the same, on the same trajectory? No real distinction. Like, I'm touching my jawline right now, and there is a distinction between my cheekbones, my cheek, and my jawline. And check this out. Y'all ready? Boom. This is how he views himself. This is the false image of the man behind the mask. You want to know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Hollywood. Thank you, RNY, and thank you so much for being here. And Phoebe says, sorry, but Dory was not a great conversation. Well, damn. This reminds me of Hollywood, those plastic women, Miami. What up, Gip? What up, T Latte? Many in here have those kind of lies. Oh, damn. He said it was 808. That's right. Thank you, QI. Oh, Lord Jesus. He said it was area code 805. Lord help us. Lord help us. Lord help us. That is right. Thank you guys for reminding me. Oxnard. Lord help us. King. Now she has 4 daughters. Oh Lord. Yeah, they all have a mask. I see exactly what you're saying. I did see the thumbnail for later today. Zoolander cheeks. Makes sense. Makes sense. But I'm curious, like, there's layers on top of layers on top of layers. Well, damn, Rex. Like a junkie, those cheeks can be sucked in. More like a meth addict, maybe. It can't. Rasta baby, be nice. Not ones for Dory all the time. Damn, Rasta baby, be nice. Dory did her thing yesterday. She really did lead. She really did help with the conversation. Y'all ain't shit. But I love my codification squad. I love them to death because we can have these conversations. I'm just getting through the chat, and then I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on imposter syndrome. You see, because when Hollywood females, especially white Hollywood females, when they get one Botox, they never stop. When they get facelifts and shit like that, they never stop. They just keep going and going and going until they look plastic. You see, the man behind the mask doesn't realize that the way he perceives himself, because don't forget, this is a photo that has been altered, and Trish let us know the psychology behind it. This is how he thinks he really looks or should look. So this could be a goal of his. You see, stars are typically short and plain looking. Maybe he's aging like milk. Absolutely. Damn. So behind the mask, we don't even get a genuine look of how he looks behind the mask because he is so self-conscious, and we are dealing with the imposter syndrome and guilt. So increased anxiety and stress, imposter syndrome and guilt, cognitive dissonance. I told y'all we were jumping into that. You see, but the guilt comes from the deception, particularly in close relationships, because you ain't who you said you were. My bad, my bad. Okay, fine. My bad, my bad. He even tried to lie about his license being wrong. Your license isn't wrong, ninja. You old. You're not old, but you older than what you're saying you are. Now, when it comes to cognitive dissonance, what I want to do is I want to stay in the lane of identity. So let's talk more about identity fragmentation. And I tried my hardest to talk about this earlier, where he has to constantly shift between his true self, his true age, and his projected persona. And what that does is it creates a fragmented sense of himself. And like I said before, it leads to internal conflict and making it difficult to feel grounded. That's why he is the way that he is. That's why he moves the way that he moves. What I find interesting about this dynamic of him lying about his age, 80's babies, you're no longer in your 20s. It's impossible. The time just does not allow for it. The youngest you can be is 36 and a half. That's it. You see, him lying and saying he was in his 20s was intended to boost his confidence. But over time, and we've talked about this before, you can't maintain a lie for too long. Over time, what ironically happened was it damaged his self-esteem. That's why I have on here lowered self-esteem. This was something he wanted to use to boost his confidence, but in turn, it's damaging his self-esteem. And the reason why is because we see that the man behind the mask, his true self, his true self is not valuable or acceptable to him. He does not value who he truly is. He does not accept where he's at in life. And the reason why is because I'm pretty sure in his mind, he knows he should be further in life than where he's at. You see, the difference between him and radio, aka Audio Pope, aka please stop sleeping on him because he has great content. We just sleep. Wake up a little bit. Trust me, he's doing his thing. Is Audio is really in his 20s. Audio has a sound reason for why he's living with his mom. And I'm pretty sure if he put his mom on the live stream, she would say the reason why he's there is because he genuinely is helping her. That's almost noble in a way. You see, the deception that the man behind the mask has, as far as lying about his age, is it creates a barrier between him and others to make a genuine connection. You see, when everybody you come in contact with on YouTube is content, and I'm not saying small little banter here and there. I'm not saying kind of like the stuff that I do, lightly throwing people under the bus, but still cool with them. I'm saying legit, nasty, ruin your day type of content. Pretending to be your friend only to talk about you behind your back, saying you can't walk, you're in a wheelchair, sick of pushing you around, what's wrong with your back? Pretending to be your friend only to get cigarettes off of you. Pretending to be your friend only to finish your drink at the bar if you didn't drink it all. Continuing to be your friend only to get the last little bit of your burger because you're full. You can't even take no shit home. You can't even have a doggy bag when this pretend friend is around. Pretending to be your friend in order to take your pizza and heat it up using an ironing board and an iron. Saying this is how we do it in the hood. You see, it reduces authenticity in connections. And what it does is it leads to superficial relationships, like I said before. And it's based on that false persona rather than the true compatibility. Saying that 805 is the area code, 808 is this, it says 80's baby. We see it as clear as day. He's trying to say that S was a 5, so the 80 is accented and highlighted in big, but that 5 is small. I don't know, make it make sense. And the reason why that he was doing that and trying to come up with that lie to maintain another lie to maintain another lie is because there was a persistent fear of being found out. You see, once he was exposed of being an old ass man, pretty much wearing a diaper as he was nursing off of these women's boobies, once he was exposed, he lost a lot of that support. So there was a fear of being exposed, and there is embarrassment. The embarrassment comes from, why would you want to be decades younger than what you are? And then arguing with Ness when I think you're older than both Ness and Brianna. God damn. So at least what the beef sector detectives did was alleviate that fear from you. You no longer have to fear being exposed or found out because it already happened. So at least those high levels of stress and paranoia went away. Let's see what the chat is saying before I move on. We are almost finished. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this series. This is the Behind the Mask series. Don't forget, as soon as I'm done with this episode 3, I will be going live back to back, right? I will be going live again, and we're going to talk about all the hell that is breaking loose in the beefing sector. Let's see if the chat is cutting up. I'm pretty sure the chat is cutting up. Let me get up in this chat and see what y'all are talking about. Let me see how far back I need to go. I know I am behind. Absolutely aging like milk. Fact, they use trying to block me everywhere. Like, I don't care. Okay. Hey, but you cooking in the chat, Rex. You cooking. Y'all let Rex live. What up, Malik? Good to see you. Greetings to you. Perk 30s for everybody. Perk 30s. All right. He's feeling bloated. Okay. Does anyone got a clip of him walking to the gate looking for was he on camera when that happened? Was he on camera when that happened? I don't know if he was on camera. He wants to look like Noble? No, it was Noble. Of Audio living with his mom to help her out. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Phoebe. I saw it, but I had to put my phone down and close my eye. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, Rex says crazy, you're a necessary entity. Ouch, yeah. Ouch, yeah. Maybe it has something to do with his teeth, Lord Jesus. Miss Claudia comes into the messy ass chat banging. 95% of America has cognitive dissonance. So he's not a damn 95% of us? Damn. Well, shit. Don't have me laughing too bad, y'all. Y'all know my chest hurts, man. I'm not 100%. Y'all can hear it in my nose. Look, y'all can hear it. There's the real cough. I'm telling y'all. Your boy is hurting, but I missed y'all so much, and I don't want to get too behind on this series. You know what I mean? This is my spring break, and I gotta run these numbers up too. So here I am. This is my flu game. This is the Michael Jordan flu game. Cosmic, he was making 12 racks a month as he claimed he should have just went and got them done. It's expensive, but it's worth it, especially since, he's an entertainer. Yeah, not 12 a month. They went from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10. Let VS tell it, 10 to the whatchamacallit, now 12. Damn. Honest question for you from an expert's perspective, eloquently breaking this down as you know. Damn, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that. He's not an insect. He's not an insect. He's not of a different type. He's of the Homo sapien species of mammals. So we all have a heightened level of intelligence. God has blessed us to be able to conquer the earth. So in that aspects, he's intelligent. Now, as far as amongst his peers, I mean, to each his own. I don't know how to answer that fact, but hopefully I answered without answering. Yeah, I don't think he was making 12. I don't think so either. It was definitely an embellishment, but I do think he was more in the 4 to 6 range. Addict, guilt, and shame go hand in hand, yet with low self-esteem. Those are facts. See, y'all cooking. I got to keep it moving, though. I think Audio is his late teens, early 20s, getting, oh, Lord Jesus, not getting his daddy. Audio lives with his mom because California, and that's facts. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Real's like, okay. Is not a punk, just needs a little more calm. I agree. Actually in her 40s. Yeah. I mean, there's a difference. Thank you so much, Fact. I appreciate that. T Latte. Rex is talking to you. Okay. Talking about the nose. There's Bush Baby. All right. Okay, we're getting through it. We are almost done, you guys. You're almost done. Oh man, man. Hey, what up, Smoke? What's going on? Good to see you. And not Smoke out, Lord. I am preaching. I am behind the pulpit with this series. I hope you don't mind that. If you do mind, I'm sorry. I knew he was lying about the 80's, baby. He said 805, and then he said 805 is the Central Coast of California. It's not, yeah. So we found that out. See, that's what I'm talking about, the beef sector detectives. Y'all know what's up. And he had to really consider who the hell he was talking to. What a binary, trinary, thinary, trinity. Okay, binary trinity. Oh, okay. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was the trinary. I knew it was the trinary, thinary. How far am I behind? Dang. See, I'm trying to be not flu game. It is the flu game. Yeah, it's the flu game. This is my Jordan flu game. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. Can I ask what's going on with you and Ken? Why are y'all fighting? We could talk about that in the next series. I'm not fighting with Ken, just so you know. I'm getting numbers. Just think about that. I think that's all I have to say. When you're getting numbers, things happen. That's just the way it goes. No, I hear you, Rex. I hear you. All right, back to it. Back to it. Back to it. Okay, so another thing that's happening is that clinging to a younger, right, in false identity. What that does is, like I said, it hinders the acceptance of one's current state, and it denies the natural progression of real life. He's missing natural stages of life. So now he can't even embrace the wisdom and experiences that comes with aging, because now he's trying to catch up. He's trying to catch up. So he went from 20 to 40 in the span of 6 months. And don't forget, he duped some of us. I'm included. I thought he was a young 20. I thought he was like in his late 20s. And now that I see that he's almost 40 years old, it does something to my mind in the way that I perceive him. So he missed personal growth. That's crazy to me. That's insane to me. And now he has to juggle different stories in different social settings. Like I said, on YouTube, he's one age. In real life, he's another. In trying to marry the two was impossible. And he was making boneheaded mistakes in real life. But the judge is looking at him like, Ninja, you're 40 years old, still doing this stupid shit. But I'm Lemon. I'm the man behind the mask. I'm really 20, trapped in a 40-year-old's body. The emotional exhaustion that he's facing, trying to balance these two worlds of being immature and accepted and mature and not. Did y'all catch that? He's trying to balance the worlds of these two worlds as they are colliding right before our eyes. Doesn't he have another court date? Wasn't VS on his ass about public defenders and shit? Trying to balance the world of being immature and accepted to a world where he needs to be mature, but he's not accepted. What are some consequences about lying about your age? If he actually really does have to try to get a job, and he wants a job where there's a career involved, if he can't drink some get right juice, the professional setting will be impacted due to his inability to grow the hell up. Why do you act like this? That's professional embarrassment. If he has to enter into a social circle and it's his career, and then you have people around you that have embraced the aging process, and you are older than them, and they have to continuously give you wisdom. Now, I'm not saying I can't learn from somebody younger, because I do every single day, especially in the world of mother effing AI. But me being the old head on my job, if I can't offer any wisdom, what the hell is wrong with me? I would be embarrassed. What that does is it sets back your career. And last thing that I want to talk about is the erosion of relationships. And we see this with the man behind the mask ad nauseum. The repeated lying. It destroys the trust and intimacy that is needed for a genuine, authentic relationship. Friends will often feel betrayed when they discover the truth. It kind of reminds me of the Bible, when John was a little bit upset when people were turning away from the faith. And he said, they may have appeared as if they were for us, but they were never with us. Because had they been with us, they would have never left us. You see, that is the deceiving nature of not only somebody that lies to you ad nauseum, but that is the deceiving nature of every sector on YouTube. There are people that will lie to your face. They will appear as if they are with you. But as soon as the temperature gets a little bit hot, they jump ship, because they were never with you from the jump. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It's not over yet. This was episode 3. 80's baby. That was episode 3. Don't forget episode 1. It is on my backup. It's called Arrested Development. They all tie in together. Episode 2 is on this page. So you go ahead and click on that if you missed it. And episode 2 was I'm Sorry Is Not Enough. And this is definitely episode 3, 80's babies. Your 20 is over. I hope your 20s are over. I hope you guys are enjoying this series of Behind the Mask. I really enjoy you guys. I really enjoy the chat. Y'all be turned up. Shit be getting crazy. You know what I mean? Oh, look at R&Y. Oh, let's go. Shit be getting crazy. Y'all know what I mean? And these YouTube streets are on fire, and we're definitely going to talk about that. I will be going live as soon as I finish this. I will be going live. Don't forget, I am Dr. Binary during these series. I embrace who I am. I am definitely Dr. Binary in these series. I mean, go ahead and look at the avatar, get your screenshots, talk your shit, do all those things you need to do. But what I don't want you to do is not be turned up, because this is Code Fam, and we stay turned up. I'll see you guys in a few. Peace. Watch us turn up. Code Fam. Watch us turn up. Yeah. People get so confused. How is this doctor in the hood? Navigate the system, refuse to let it take my mind, body, and soul. You see what's good is misunderstood. Divine got me not sold out, but walked in the fire. Develop a real team. Try, tested, and true. Desire to really reach one, teach one, and learn from one. In a sector where they snake one, break one. Ain't no loyalty, niggas is fake. I see all them leaves. I got the rake, yeah. Let's go ahead and rake them up. Bag them up, yeah. Let's go ahead and bag them up. Rake them up. Let's body bag them up. What's the point when they don't play by the rules of engagement? They on that fake shit. Get it? They can't hang when the pressure cooker's on top temp. That's when they resort to doxing, calling jobs in, weak-minded with weak views and tight wigs. All of their time spent watching YouTube with no riz. Kids in the background screaming for attention they don't get. For some cash apps and AdSense checks already spent. For some cash apps and AdSense checks already spent. Watch us turn up. 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 Shout out to the codification squad. Shout out to the green team. Shout out to the code breakers. Shout out to code fam. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up.